When mathematical tasks involving fractions are performed, it is often required for the fractions to have a common denominator. These tasks include comparing fractions as well as adding and subtracting them. It is often beneficial to have the denominators of these fractions be as small as possible in order to make the calculations easier. So the combination of these two ideas, of having a common denominator and having the smallest denominator possible, leads to the idea of what is called the least common denominator, or LCD. Finding the least common denominator of two fractions is the same process as finding the least common multiple of two natural numbers. So if I want to find the least common multiple of 4 and 6, well, one way is just to list the multiples. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so on. You can see that the smallest number they have in common is 12. So the least common multiple is going to be 12. Likewise, if I want to find the least common denominator, I would look at 4 and 6, and for the same reason, the least common denominator is going to be 12 as well. Now let's explore how to compare fractions with different denominators. So fractions with the same denominator can be compared just by looking at their numerators. Fractions that have different denominators are not as easy to compare, unless we change the fractions to equivalent fractions with the same denominator. And usually it'll be easiest to use the least common denominator when you do that. So say I want to place the correct symbol, less than, equals, or greater between the two fractions. So 3/5 and 2/3. So with the least common multiple of 5 and 3 is going to be 15. So the idea here is we rewrite each of these fractions to have that denominator 15. So the fraction on the left, I would multiply the top and bottom by 3. The one on the right, I would multiply the top and bottom by 5. So I would have 3 times 3 is 9 fifteenths and 10 fifteenths. And you can see that it would be less than. We can see this graphically here. Here's comparing fractions. Here are 3/5 and 2/3. So if you write them down and then kind of imagine that we break it into 15ths, so you can see there's the 9 fifteenths. And I do the same thing for the 2/3. That becomes 10 fifteenths. And indeed, it becomes less than. 3/7 and 9/21. Well, the least common denominator between 7 and 21. 7 times 3 is 21, so 21 would have to be the least common denominator. And for that, I would multiply the left side by 3, top and bottom by 3. I'll get 9 over 21 compared with 9 over 21. These are the same. 7ths and 9ths, the least common denominator for between the 7 and the 9 is 63. So multiply the left fraction, top and bottom by 9, and the right fraction by 7. So 4 times 9 is 36 63rds compared to 28 over 63. So the 36 is larger than 28, so this would be the greater than symbol. All right, let's try to order the fractions 7/8, 7/12, 1/15, and 9/20 from least to greatest by writing each fraction using a denominator of 120. Well, 8 times 15 is 120, so I start with 7/8. I would multiply the top and bottom by 15. And 7 times 15 is 105, so that's 7/8 is 105 over 120. 7/12, I would have to multiply the top and bottom by 10 to get to the denominator of 120. So that's going to be 70 over 120. 1/15, I would multiply the top and bottom by 8. So I get 8 over 120. And 9 over 20, 20 times 6 is 120, so I'd multiply the top and bottom by 6. I get 54 over 120. So I want to, the smallest one is the 8/20, so 1/15 is the smallest number. The next one would be the last one. So 9/20 is the next smallest. And then 71/20 is next. So I guess that was the 7/12. And the 7/8 is the largest. So from least to greatest, we'd have 1/15, 9/20, 7/12, and 7/8.